So the way I want to lay this out is first of all start off with a canvas. There we go. And I'm going to call this canvas switch pawn panel. Now, when we are actually going to be finished with it, we want this canvas to be disabled so that at the start of the game you can't actually see it. You can only see it once the event is triggered, which is going to enable the panel and allow all of the functionality that we're going to put in it. But while we're working on it, so that we can see ourselves working on it, we're going to have to enable it, which is fine. Also for the undo button, we can disable it because we haven't added any functionality in it so far. And at the start of the game, you shouldn't be able to undo a button move anyway, because you haven't made a move. So we're going to enable that after the first move. Again, that's going to be done in programming. So inside of the switch pawn panel, I am going to want to have an image, which is going to be just my background. And there we go. Background. This is my image then. Oh, that's odd. I have no idea what's going on right now. Let me just check. Okay, so I have just accidentally clicked this instead of this. So that's fine. No big deal. We can just... so this is going to be the panel that's going to show up once a pawn reaches the other side. You can make it any size you want. I want it to be, well, approximately that size. That's fine. Now you can see that the pawns are actually above it. Excuse the noise from outside. Thank you. So to fix that, if you remember what we did in the board for our pieces so that they show up in front, on the canvas of the pieces we did override sorting and sort order. Well, we're going to play with that as well. So on the canvas, i.e. the switch pawn panel that we've given that name, on the element that we've given that name to, there we go, I can talk. We're going to override sorting. Now it's going to disappear because 0 means it's going to go behind. But if we put something like 2 or anything above 1, I believe it only accepts integers, I'm not 100% sure there, but if you put 2, it's going to work. It just comes above everything that we have so far. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. Now for a safety feature, what we should also do is add another element to our main panel, UI, make it an image, and then put everything inside of that image. Make this image the exact size of our whole thing. We are also going to move the anchors to there and switch the alpha, switch the alpha to 0 so that it's completely transparent. What this is going to do is make sure that once this is entered, the user cannot actually click on the background. They're just going to be clicking on the image, which is not going to have any functionality. So we can actually name this that instead, and then switch pawn canvas. And there we go. The color of this doesn't actually matter. You can just make it completely black. You can make it completely white, but because the alpha is 0, you're not going to see any of that change anything at all. So if we turn that off, if we switch it off using this, then everything disappears because that's the parent of everything inside of it. And I believe that this is going to come in front of everything as well. Actually, thinking about it, a better idea would be to put switch pawn panel inside of here and then nest everything inside of that, because our canvas is definitely going to be on top of everything, and then this is going to come in front of it so that the user can click and everything that we've mentioned so far. Let's make sure we move the anchors to the corners. Oops, that's not the anchor. That happens too often, I've noticed. And there we go. So that it resizes the way we want it to resize. the user shouldn't be able to interact with anything else when we're inside of this interface. At least that's the way I want to make it, because otherwise I would be able to move pieces on the board. And that's that. So now we can actually rename that, and this is make sure user can't click element. You can call it whatever you want, it's just going to be there. It's not actually going to have much functionality other than preventing the user from clicking things. So this is the background image. Inside of here I want to add a text element, which is going to tell the user what I want them to do. And that's the text I'm going to have. I'm going to put it right there. Best fit 1 to 100. I am going to shrink it probably. There we go. And then I don't know why it's so blurry. That's kind of odd. Let's pick, maybe if I pick black color, that's going to make it. No. What if I start playing the game? Because sometimes this is kind of odd. It normally doesn't make it so blurry. Okay, so we're just not going to worry about it being blurry for now. I think that's going to change later on. Let's just make sure that it's not touching the edges so that it looks nice. There we go. I think that that's fine. Let's center it. As you can see, I'm just using the blue line that appears to center it. Put the anchors on its corners. The top left one first, otherwise they're going to overlap and Unity doesn't allow that. There we go. And then what else we're going to have here is black pieces and white pieces that the pawn can change into. So we are going to have two extra panels. Those are going to be canvases as well. So on our background we want to add UI canvas and UI canvas. Let's call one of them black pieces and then the other one white pieces. So inside of here we're going to have raw images, and those raw images are going to contain our, let me see, our pieces that the pawn can change into. So UI raw image, and then we can just copy and paste it to be faster. Put those in there. Actually, the best thing to do would be to work on one and then just copy that one instead. You will see why, because of anchors and everything. So we want to, I hate it when I try to interact with that and it doesn't work. I mean, I understand why it doesn't work, but still. So what we can do is go into board parent, copy an image such as our rook. This is actually probably the best idea. And then inside of here, paste it. Make sure it's the canvas has override sorting and 3, or maybe not. Where's the raw image? Oh yeah, of course I need to move it because it's being pasted there. Do I need to override sorting? No, I don't need to override sorting, so that's fine. Raw image, now we can resize it using the shift key so that it maintains aspect ratio. And that's one of our pieces. Now we can copy and paste that a few more times and move it around. Okay, I did not mean to do that, but it doesn't exactly matter too much. There we go. You're going to just have to guess what the correct distance in between them is. Or you can measure it if you really want to, but I'm not going to go into that much trouble of doing it. I think that that looks fine the way it is like that. Now the raw image is all just rooks now. We can easily change that. We can put well, not white bishop. We can put black queen. We can put black bishop and black knight. That's one of our canvases. Now we can actually copy and paste that whole canvas. We can delete white pieces from there. We can call this white pieces now. And instead of having the black pieces inside of here, we can just change them for the white pieces. So white rook, then we have white queen. I'm going to keep the same order because I think it looks better if you keep the same order. You don't have to, but again, there we go. And the way we're going to work with this is if it's the white player's turn, then the black pieces are going to be disabled and the white pieces are going to be enabled, and vice versa. And how it's going to work is once we click on one piece, we're going to register the click and which piece we've clicked on, and the pawn which has been moved to the other side of the board is going to be changed to the piece that we've clicked on. How we do that, you will see later on, but for now, what we need to do is have both of these canvases disabled as well as this disabled, so that when we start the game, we can't see that and it doesn't block our view. So I think that I'm actually going to leave it here. This might be a two-part video seeing as how long it's become, but yeah. If you didn't understand anything, then do feel free to ask in the comments down below. I don't think that this had much detail into it, but still, if you're having trouble with Unity, do feel free to ask me down in the comments. Other than that, if you enjoyed watching this video, then please give me a like, share and subscribe. So until next time, thank you so much for watching and goodbye. Hello everyone and welcome back to Chess Programming Game Design with me. So in the last lesson what we did was design or change the design of our game slightly by adding numbers to make it more well, easily to navigate around it. We also added the undo button, which we've actually hidden now because it doesn't have any functionality so far. And we also added this panel, which I want to add something to or change slightly. I forgot to mention that you need to change the anchors to the corners of the pieces. So you need to do this for both the black pieces and the white pieces that we have on here. If you do one piece, then what you can do is copy that one piece and then paste it as you saw me do there, and then just move them around. And the actually you can't do that, can you? Never mind. So you just need to change all of the anchors of the pieces so that they're on the corners. And once you do that, you're going to be ready for today's lesson. Not that today's lesson is going to have much to do with this. In today's lesson, what we're going to do is actually make the panel functional, or at least do our best to get there. So I'm just going to do this quickly off camera. Don't forget the white pieces as well. So you're going to have to enable the board for the white pieces, the canvas for the white pieces. So meet me on the other side.